Good afternoon and welcome to Percydoyle Reserve for this NPL WA clash between Sorrento FC and Gwelup, Croatia. Great to have your company with us this afternoon here on the Football West YouTube channel and Facebook pages. My name's Tommy Dolman. Should be a good game today between two sides who've seemingly emerged well from the COVID-19 shutdown. Both had positive round one results to start the men's season. Gwelup, of course, made their debut at this level last week and earned a credible draw with last year's grand finalists Inglewood United, while Sorrento put 6 goals past Rockingham to now lead the league after week one. In terms of team news today, we'll pause actually for just a moment, as it looks like the teams are about to partake in a moment's silence, and we'll come back with the team news shortly. One change to the Sorrento team that defeated Rockingham City 6-1. Goalkeeper Yusrigar Salah is absent today, meaning reserve goalkeeper Matt Giudicati will start in the net for Sorrento. Gwelup, meanwhile, going unchanged from last week's 1-1 draw at Inglewood United. The only change does come on the bench, though, with Shaw McManus coming in for the suspended Cian McGuigan. So pretty excited for this one today. We're not far from a start here in the northern suburbs of Perth. Cracking day. Who would have thought it's winter, eh? The home ground of Sorrento FC hosting this game this afternoon. A big game to kick off round 2 of the NPL WA here in the West. All 6 games kicking off at 3 p.m. this afternoon on the Football West YouTube channel and Facebook pages. A mere moment or two from getting underway here. Sorrento wearing the traditional sky blue kit, and Gwelup also wearing their home shirt, the red shirt and the white shorts. Up and running then as Alex Morgan gets us underway with Tim Hill on the halfway run. Sorrento looking to get on the front foot early on. Rocco Pizzata did stumble, and Kieran Salinger thought better of any possible danger by clearing up the line, and the last touch from that clearance was off Dumba Mikeche, and it'll be a Sorrento throw-in. So as discussed in the pre-game before, Sorrento coming off that 6-1 win last week, currently leading the league after just the one game, of course. 4 goals for Cameron Teese, who's on the ball now and driving beyond John Steins through midfield. Still going here, Cameron Teese, full of confidence, and that's a good challenge from Pizzata to get an early foot in. And McCarlin did try to find Sinclair up the line, who can't believe that the throw didn't go the way of Gwelup, and then the referee got a word from his assistant to inform him that the visitors will indeed have the throw-in. Gwelup, of course, that 1-1 draw at the Croatian Sporting Complex, their first NPL WA game at this level. Mikeche opening the scoring before Brendan Italiano's cracker off the inside of the post levelled things up. A good, entertaining game. And Gwelup not too far for the visitors to travel this week. Sorrento, probably about a 15-minute drive. Both these teams in the northern suburbs. Campbell's pass looked a little short for a moment there, and Teese was lurking. Now the ball up the line from Mitchinson. A good one into the feet of McKeche. Hargreaves. Now here's Daniel Steins, one of several returnees from the Victorian NPL this season. Lovely football on this left-hand side involving the Steins brothers, and McKeche, and John Steins continues his run into the area. Appeals for a foul, nothing doing. Challenge from Tamata was all legal. But a good sign of early intent there from Gwelup, who've made a very eye-catching recruitment display in this off-season, and are definitely not messing around in season 2020 there. Definitely contenders for the top four based on last week's performance, and maybe the talent gives them opportunity to go all the way. Good ball from Annis, who tried to feed Teese, and the centre forward Will got on the end of that. Ball in from Tamata. Cut out by Hargreaves, who has time to get on the ball and find McKeche by feet. Strong challenge from Tamata once more, who's been busy on this right-hand side early. And now Teese finds Annis. Very crowded in Gwelup's defensive half at the moment. And now Govan can launch one long upfield to McKeche, who's no doubt the target man this afternoon. Very good at holding the ball up is Dumba McKeche. NPL experience with Gwelup and with Sterling and Inglewood previously, apologies. And he's back in the NPL WA after a stint with Penang FC in Malaysia. Once off Perth Glory in the A-League as well, of course, Dumba McKeche. Here's Brown. Annis. Pass was a little heavy for Brown, who has to hoik that into the crowd. Couldn't ask for better conditions for a July afternoon here, considering it is winter. Barely a cloud in the sky, barely any breeze of note to deal with, so definitely no excuses for the players today. Here's Sinclair. Looks back for Salinger. Ball nearly broke for McCullough. It was Jakub Praja who managed to intercept instead, and he'll look to launch Sorrento forward on the counter-attack here. Morgan, Teese. Back for Praja once more. Teese. 4-goal hero last week. 2 of those free kicks, actually. Not sure if that is something he's been working on in the off-season, Cameron Teese, but whatever he's been doing with those dead balls, it definitely worked in round 1 anyway. John Steins. Mitchinson on the overlap. Now Daniel Steins. Links up with brother John on the area. Steins. Hargreaves. Sinclair slipped as he waited to receive Hargreaves' pass, and Morgan was away down that left-hand side. Good defending from Salinger, who'll be in the thick of the action once more. Ball forward from Salinger's a good one for Hassani Sinclair, who's had a really good last couple of seasons at NPL WA level. First in a promotion season with Forestfield United before 9 goals in 16 appearances with Coburn last season. And he actually scored a hat-trick in the round 1 ghost game, I think we'll call it, with Perth Glory, that round 1 that was played back in March that didn't count prior to the COVID-19 shutdown. Difficult times for all teams, of course, at this level, but we're just happy to be Back watching 22 players on the pitch today playing football, I think, as Anis's free kick comes in. Clearance will go to Tomasa, and now Jordan Brown is isolated on this right-hand side with two Gwelup players. It's John Steins who pinches the ball back, and now Gwelup can launch into a counter-attack. Makala's got four in front of them. One of them, Sinclair, out wide. Mikeche and John Steins in the middle. Sinclair will drive at goal, and Giudicati will make his first notable save of the game. Giudicati, of course, deputising for Yusri Garsala this afternoon. A few of the loyal NPL WA followers have asked where James Morgan is, long-serving Sorrento goalkeeper. He's actually away working up north at the moment. So Garsala was signed after a spell with Balcatta, previously Morley Windmills goalkeeper, and unavailable this afternoon, meeting Giudicati, who made just the one NPL WA appearance last season in a game against Stirling Lions, a 1-1 draw. I think that's the life of a reserve goalkeeper in general, though. You've got to be ready to step up at any time. And this is a good opportunity for young Giudicati to make an impression this afternoon. It's Pat Hughes, the reserve goalkeeper, who's sitting on the bench for the goals this afternoon, as Daniel Steins looks for the run of his older brother John, former Floriat Athena goal-scoring midfield John Steins. Now Daniel Steins' clip ball is a good one for Sinclair at the back post. Pull back. Mikeche, apologies, had already drifted into the 6-yard box and the ball was just behind him. Put out by Brown. And they've looked very good in these wide areas inside the first 5 to 10 minutes, have Gwelup, Croatia. Salinger tries to take on Praja, but the Czech midfielder says checkmate, and that'll be a goal kick. Tough. Ball forward was away from Daniel Feischny, who wasn't credited with that opening goal last week against Rockingham City. Long distance strike, did take a deflection and did find the back of the net. Not sure if it was on target or not, but Feischny probably feels a little stiff that he isn't on the scorers list for season 2020 so far. Not sure if there is a dubious goals panel or not in the West, but I'm sure Feischny would have argued his case pretty well had he had the opportunity to. Anyway, it's the team that matters at the end of the day, as Brown fouls Daniel Steins on the halfway line. It's going to be an early card, actually, for Jordan Brown. Referee deems that Gwelup may have been on the counter-attack there, and that Brown's challenge from behind was halting that momentum somewhat. Ball moving fairly nicely and fairly crisply on this pretty good pitch here at Percy Doyle Reserve. Winter months can sometimes take their toll, but this surface is pretty good at Sorrento, as Makala looks to make room for a shot. Nearly fell the way of Mikeche, and in the end Graham Tuff just says, let's get that out of there and let's press up. Teese certainly bought into that, but he's willing running, couldn't pressure Connor Campbell, and now Salinger will find Hazani Sinclair. Salinger continued his run and tried to poke past Tim Hill, but Veteran midfielder Tim Hill. Very wise, wearing the captain's armband this afternoon, Hill. 6 years at Sorrento, 5 years with Sterling prior. And just the one goal in season 2019. Makala. Mikeche. Lovely flick. Makala continued his run. Sinclair on this right-hand side. Looks to try and get the better of Tristan Colley. He finds Mikeche via feet. Lovely back heel. Sinclair will score with the outside of the boot. And Gwelup have lift-off here at Percy Doyle Reserve. It's Sorrento 0, Gwelup Croatia 1. Lovely slick movement through midfield by Gwelup, who had plenty of space to operate in the midfield. Firstly through Makala and then through Sinclair out wide, who found the feet of Mikeche, continued his run, and then Sinclair with the outside of the boot managed to curl that one around Giudicati and into the far corner, and that's a very good start for the visitors. First goal of 2020 technically for Hazani Sinclair, despite that hat-trick in the Ghost game with Perth Glory, as we discussed earlier. Now, Graham Tuff looks to be a little sore after that goal was scored. He is back on his feet, and he is just easing his way off the pitch. Looks to be moving okay, and doesn't look as though Sorrento are preparing anybody to warm up just yet. So Tim Hill will slot into the centre of defence for the moment, and I think Tuff has been waved back onto the field. And on he comes now, so the goal's back to their full quota of 11 players. Looking for a quick response following that opening goal from Hazani Sinclair. It'll be Ollie Alice over that free kick. It's a pretty good one in. Fashni, I think, got his head to it in the area. He did. And it looped just wide of Connor Campbell's post. The goalkeeper was scrambling for a moment, possibly a little unsure of his position, but in the end I think that was comfortably wide from where we stand. A restart will be taken by Campbell now, who goes long. Brown wins the header in the air. Praja and Steins battling for possession on this left-hand side. Sorrento do eventually emerge with the ball. Fashni has got Tristan Colley outside him. Chance to put across into the middle. It nearly ran to Annis. Teese had a swing and missed it. Ball still ran through for Praja, who rips it in. He nearly got a second crack at that one, but Steins emerged with it for the moment until Tamata hoisted that one back towards goal, and Campbell will have a restart similar to the one that we had about 60 seconds ago. So, the closest we've come to a goal for the home side. Colley's ball was a dangerous one. Brown's clearance nearly hits us up in the broadcast position and thankfully sailed just wide, and Gwelup can get the game moving pretty quickly. Pitsata, former Perth Soccer Club defender, just the 12 NPL WA appearances in 2019 for Rocco. He was a real mainstay of the Azzurri beforehand, found chances a little harder to come by last season and made the move to Gwelup in this off-season. Touch from Daniel Steins there. A little heavy, and in the end, Judy Caddy see it off his goal line to make sure that was claimed, and the danger was averted. Tomato. Cut out by Mikala now. John Steins won the ball, said the referee, and now Praja's pass is a good one into the path of Teese, who'll run in on goal. Good save by Campbell with the feet, follow up by Annis. Great save, Campbell. Oh, he just made himself as big as possible to block that follow up, and now Steins will try and pick out Sinclair wider. Tremendous pass from Praja initially to find the run of Teese, and you would have backed him to find the back of the net after his form he showed last week. And then Annis was encroaching, looking for a second goal in 2 weeks, and Campbell was back on his feet quickly to make sure he made the save. Mikala. Very busy in the centre of midfield this afternoon so far. Formerly of Balcata. Another of the new crop in this Gwelup Croatia team. Only 5 players remain in the Gwelup squad that played Sorrento in last season's FFA Cup round of 16 game. It was a 2-1 win for the goals here, with Alex Morgan and Jakub Praja scoring that afternoon. And David Hegney scoring for Gwelup. He's on the bench this afternoon, but just the 5 players from that squad are in this squad today. Signs of a real statement of intent from the visitors as Hargreaves' ball forwards. A pretty good one for Steins at the back post. Govan will try and hook that one towards goal, but got completely under that one, and Judy Caddy will be able to take his time over a goal kick here for the goals. So Gwelup, of course, this is their first meeting with Sorrento in the NPL era. They did earn promotion last season. They missed out narrowly to Rockingham City the season before in 2018, and last time they had the better of a 2-way race between them and the Western Knights. An unbeaten run of 8 games helping them to find their way to promotion as Feischney looks to dribble his way through Gwelup's defence. He showed some encouraging movement there, but final touch was a little heavy, and Campbell was able to gather. And of course that Gwelup promotion was secured by a 3-1 win on the final day over Subiaco. After they trailed 1-0 on the final day of game, they only needed to draw, so they made life hard for themselves, but got there eventually as Feischney's ball was looking for Teese in the area once again. Cut out by Pitsata, and now Sinclair shouts for handball. Annis did well to charge that down. Pitsata in position A once again to clear upfield, and Tough will have the height advantage on Mikeche and will beat him to that, although Steins, that's John Steins, will have plenty of time to turn and drive down this left-hand side. Mikala, and now Mitchinson. Daniel Steins. Mikala. Hargreaves. Sinclair, scorer of the game's only goal so far, jinking, and his ball in was straight to Tim Hill, who did well to find Annis with the clearance, and that's really nice play from Ollie Annis. Campbell thought about coming to claim that one, but Govan was retreating in cover under the pressure of Alex Morgan, and that'll be a throw-in for the goals. encouraging signs for the Sky Blues. Not really tested Campbell just yet though, and the goalkeeper will shout loudly to ensure he picks that one up ahead of Kieran Salinger. The Sorrento started 2019 pretty well too, actually. They were in the top 4 mix after 10 games, but they had a horrid June. Did the goals for consecutive losses really plunged them down the table, and that was basically their top 4 hopes over and done with before a late season resurgence. Come back to that in a moment as Salinger picks out the run of Mikeche down this right-hand side. John and Daniel Steins both in the area. He retreats to Sinclair instead. Now Hargreaves. Tough, heads away. And now McCullough will whip that one out wide again to Sinclair. Salinger. Just to finish on the goals, they did only have one loss in those last 8 games. In the end, they did fall frustratingly short of that top 4 spot, though, which was taken by Balcatta. So a little more consistency, and they'll fancy their chances, especially with the goals of Cameron Teese, who picks out Alex Morgan with a nice ball here, looking for the clipped pass through to the run of Tim Hill, but Govan will intercept that one once more. Cameron Teese, the 3rd top scorer in the Golden Boot race in 2019, behind Michael Domfey and Daryl Nicol. 4 to start the season in 2020 and leading the way today. As Colley's ball in will look for the run of the number 9 with the red boots up front, but the pass is a little heavy and Campbell will be able to reset once more. Two teams who've represented Western Australia in the FFA Cup, round of 32 of course, the national level of the competition. As Campbell's clearance is flicked on by Steins and into touch. Gwelup, of course, making the state cup final in 2018. They went to the round of 32 in the FFA Cup. They played the Adelaide Comets and unfortunately lost that one by 4 goals to 0. We're a lot better team on paper now than they were back then, though. They did end up going on to lose to Armidale in that state cup final. And the goals, meanwhile, are the only NPL WA team to get out of the round of 32. A 1-0 win over Canberra United before falling to South Melbourne in the round of 16 as John Steins and Daniel Steins link up on the edge of the area. Thought about passing to Sinclair out wide. Now turns his way out of trouble and Hargreaves finds Mitchinson. Back to Steins. Daniel into the feet of John. And Sorrento should be able to tidy that one up through Tim Hill. Cameron Teese. Ball was a little behind Fashni, who assumed it was for Tristan Colley, but in the end took matters into his own hands and went back and got it. Now Tim Hill dawdling on possession a little bit and giving Daniel Steins an opportunity to pressure. Foul going the way of the goals here. And a good opportunity for the Sky Blues to get a good ball into the area. Alex Morgan, Cameron Teese Brown and Tough up from centre-back, all in the area waiting. It's a good ball. It's close to Campbell, who misread it slightly, and in the end his touch was good enough to divert the danger. Long throw from Praja. Brown tries to flick on. McCullough will get the ball at ground level first. Now Tim Hill with a chance to cross again. Teese was waiting. Hargreaves and Faciony up together. Annis goes down in the area, nothing doing. And then McCullough can eventually clear away. And Sinclair just hoists that one up in the air and says, let's get out of here. Mitchinson. Ball forward is looking for the run of Dumba Mikeche, whose cross is looking for the run of John Steins. Cleared up by Jordan Brown, and now Jakob Praja. Czech midfielder Jakob Praja, very capable of striking the ball from long distance. Real pile driver that stands out in particular against Bayswater last season. Here he is again. Tamata. Mitchinson intercepts. Foul was on Annis. Referee allows play to continue. Annis back to his feet. And now Colley's ball will look for Faciony, who's lightning quick in the penalty area once again, and really putting the Gwelup defence under pressure. A good response here from Sorrento, was mentioned before. They're yet to really test Campbell properly with a meaningful shot on goal until Teese and then Annis forced that double save. But they've managed to peg Gwelup back into their defensive third at the moment. So Sorrento FC 0, Gwelup Croatia 1 on the Football West YouTube channel and Facebook pages on this perfect Saturday afternoon, 3 p.m. kickoff here in the West. Faciony loses out there to McCullough, and now John Steins will look up and play the ball out wide for Sinclair, but Faciony was quick across the cover. And now Praja, Annis, dinks ball over the top, was a little heavy for the run of Teese, and that'll run all the way through to Campbell, who's been a regular between the sticks for the visitors. 4 clean sheets in 2019 for Gwelup's defence. Daniel Steins, lovely ball out to John Steins, who's one-on-one with Tamata and strikes at goal. I think that would have beaten Jude Caddy, but thankfully for the stopper, it drifted just wide of that goal post. Gwelup are showing that they do have the nous on the break should Sorrento push their way too high up the field. Here's Teese, great centre forward play there from the former ECU and Perth striker, who's really found a home with the goals over the past couple of seasons. He joined in mid-2018, did Cameron Teese, scored 9 goals, an impressive back end of the campaign then, before those 13 goals in 20 appearances last season that did shoot him up to third in the Golden Boot race. Hargreaves into the feet of Daniel Steins, who'll look to try and poke through for Mikeche, but cleared by Tough. Mitchinson, once of Bayswater and Perth glory, now coming forward. John Steins. And Jordan Brown just launches that one as far as he possibly can. Mitchinson will keep that alive. One of several Gwelup players. Actually, here's another one who've returned from the NPL in Victoria to take part with the NPL newcomers here in WA. A couple of seasons at Green Gully and Tona Magic. Hello to all of our Victorian listeners and viewers, of course, this afternoon, if you are watching, and hopefully you're all staying safe in this difficult time for us all in the post-mortem of COVID-19, as Tomas's ball forward was just beyond the extended head of Alex Morgan. Foul by Praja on John Steins. Good crowd of locals here from the northern suburbs at Percy Doyle Reserve this afternoon. No excuses not to be, I guess, with the perfect conditions. Plenty of people on that hill, as you can see on your screens, and there's plenty behind us here enjoying the bar and the refreshments and the facilities here in the northern suburbs. Daniel Steins, lovely clipped ball forward for Sinclair, crosses a dangerous one across the 6-yard box, and Judah Caddy just dived on it and was grateful to receive the ball in his breadbasket in the end. Praja. Ex-FC Slovako in the Czech Premier League, twice a runner-up in the Czech Cup. As Teese, lovely turn from the forward who drives towards goal, and unfortunately for him, he hit that one straight at Campbell. Once again, that's good number 9 play from Sorrento's number 9. Holding up of the ball, good close control, and then showing that little yard of acceleration to drive towards goal. Finish a little at Campbell, though, as Gwelup give up possession in midfield, but McCarla makes up for the error and gets back. Daniel Steins. Played for Bentley Greens last season, did Daniel Steins. 3 goals in 13 appearances on the road to the NPL Victorian Championship as Mikeche latches on to Sinclair's pass. He had a look up and tried to find Steins on the edge of the area. The last touch was off Graham Tuff, I think. Well, one thing is for certain, we will have a Gwelup corner. Govan and John Steins lurking on the edge of the area. Mikeche on this near post. It's a dangerous looking ball in. Steins did get his head to it, and Sinclair didn't gamble on the back post, and if he did, he may have just had a tap in. Referee stops play there, suspecting that Sinclair has taken a knock to the head as per protocol. train has not been waved on just yet. I think the referee is satisfied enough that Sinclair was okay to continue. Sorrento do get us restarted through Tamata here. Ball over the top of Alex Morgan, who scored a hat-trick at Dorrien Gardens last day of the season last year, did Alex Morgan. His best goal-scoring year in the NPL WA overall with 7. And playing a little further up front this season, previously a winger, as Daniel Steins picks out Mikeche with a lovely pass, and he'll go back to Daniel Steins, who'll turn on the edge of the area, and Fashni did really well just to hold him up there. Mikeche took his eye off the ball for a moment. Didn't matter in the end. The turn was tremendous, and Mikeche will now whip one towards goal, parried away by Giudicati, and Annis and Fashni will eventually figure it out between themselves under the pressure of Makala, and now Teese will hoist that one really high. Praja did well to bring that down. Now Tim Hill, Ollie Annis, Tim Hill. Cross is on target in the end, but not a difficult one for Campbell to gather, as it turned out. Fashni. Teese. Good turn once again. Ball out wide to Praja, who's one-on-one with Mitchinson, and now he's getting support outside of him from Tamata, but that's good covering defence though from Mitchinson. Very impressive left-sided player is Sam Mitchinson. Key components of that Bayswater dominance when they had their best spell in the NPL area. Unbeaten season as well. 19 wins and 3 draws for Chris Coyne's men, but he's back plying his trade at Gwelup, Croatia now. So a little bit of back and forth about this game in recent times. Still, it's Hazani Sinclair's goal which separates the teams. Good save from Connor Campbell to deny Cameron Teese and Ollie Annis. And then Mikeche in recent times forcing Giudicati into a parrying stop, as well as Gwelup win possession once more on this near touchline. A little bit of sea breeze just picking up in the previous couple of minutes. Mikeche thought he'd won that 50-50 ball, but the referee deems the boot was a little high there from the former Penang FC and Perth Glory player. Graham Tuff standing over this free kick. Former Western Knights player is Tuff, and actually was a pretty important part of Gwelup's promotion campaign last season, but he plays at Sorrento this time round, replacing Scott Robertson in the number 5 jersey for the goals. Now, did Sinclair stay on side there? Linesman said he didn't. Looked a little out of position to judge that one, but from where we stood, it looked as though Sinclair may have just darted a little bit early. Tristan Colley. Forward for Alex Morgan. Olianis can't get to the fall of the ball, but Jakub Praja will eventually get there. Via a touch off Sam Mitchinson. He's trying his best to keep that in play, and in the end the ball bobbles off Annis and out for a Gwelup throw-in. Olianis, ex-Perth Glory youngster. Played with Daniel Steins back then. Annis joining the goals from ECU Joondalup this off-season. Played 15 times for the Jacks in 2019. And Jacks did have a 2-0 win against Coburn last weekend, and they're in action again this afternoon against Inglewood United, I think. If my memory serves me correctly, Kenny Lowe, of course, the manager at ECU Joondalup these days. Salinger's throw. Sinclair's flick on. McKechnie's turn and cross into the area, headed away by Jordan Brown. McKechnie tried to let that go for a throw-in, and in the end it worked. Pretty well for the Gwelup striker. Salinger will try and launch this one towards the near post. It's a good throw, actually. It's off Vaishni's head, and it'll be a second reset piece. If you assume that the length of that throw-in was as good as a set piece anyway. Corner to be taken by Daniel Steins into the near post this time. Praja took a heavy touch initially, but in the end was able to clear only as far as Hargreaves. Now McCalla. Mitchinson's in plenty of space here to put a follow-up pass into the middle. McKechnie made the run, punch from Giudicetti. It'll fall to Daniel Steins, who drags that one just wide of the post. And Gwelup a couple of yards away from adding a second goal there. It's Praja's clearance, which didn't quite get the desired distance, and that allowed Gwelup to probe once more, and in the end Daniel Steins dragged that one just wide of the upright. Very prolific was Daniel Steins a couple of years ago, in particular with the Perth Glory youth setup. .28 goals in 73 appearances, as the challenge was a strong one from Govan on Jakub Praja, and the referee has reached for his pocket straight away and has shown the yellow card, so challenge from Govan was a strong one. Praja still down, he's back up to his feet now. Very desperate lunge from Govan, and he picks up Gwelup's first yellow card of the afternoon. Joins Jordan Brown of the goals in the book for today, and this presents Sorrento with a really good opportunity here to find an equaliser. Now, the man over this dead ball needs no introductions after last week. Stands over this one with intent. Connor Campbell will be more than aware of the striker's potential to find the back of the net from this range. Gwelup's wall is marked. I think they tried to sneak forward a little bit. Referee says, hold your horses, fellas. And now Teese will strike. It's a dangerous looking one, beaten away by Campbell. Was on target. And I wonder if Campbell was a little unsighted there as he got both hands to the ball and fisted that one away. Tough slips as he tries to clear away. And now Anis, Praja, pass a little short for Faishni, and that'll give the ball back to Gwelup as Mitchinson crosses. John Steins lurks on the edge of the area. Tough. Hoist that one up in the air, and that's the halftime whistle here at Percy Doyle Reserve. So lively first 45 minutes here this afternoon. Perfect winter's day for football. The only goal of the game scored by Hazani Sinclair. Really well taken goal from Dumba Makache's back heel, but Sorrento had their chances to level up. Teese's free kick forced Campbell into a double-fisted punch in the shadows of the break before. That was after, Connor Campbell made a spectacular double save from first Teese and then a following up Ollie Anis. And Gwelup have also had their chances to extend their lead with Daniel Steins dragging a shot just wide of the upright. But as the players leave the pitch with the first half completed, we'll be back in 10-15 minutes for the second half. Sorrento 0, Gwelup Croatia 1. Welcome back to the second half of this round 2 NPL WA clash between Gwelup, Croatia and Sorrento Soccer Club here at Percy Doyle Reserve, home ground of the Sky Blues. Currently Gwelup, Croatia leading by a goal to nil thanks to Hassani Sinclair's first half strike. Lovely 1-2 with Dumba Mkeche. Run through a couple of the other half-time scores from around the ground, so if you're not interested in hearing them, we'll give you an opportunity to just turn your sound down for 30 seconds as we rattle through them. It's Armidale 1, Balcatta 0, Coburn City 3, Bayswater 2, Inglewood United 1, ECU Joondalup 1, Perth Glory Under-21s 3, Rockingham City 0, and Perth Soccer Club 0, Floreat Athena 0. Perth Soccer Club down to 10 men in that game. As the coaching staff and players prepare themselves for the second period. Taki Nicolaides taking his place in the dugout, third year as Gwelup, Croatia head coach, firmly of Perth and Floreat Athena, a real legend around these parts in the WA local football scene. And on the opposite bench, of course, Jamie Harnwell needs no introduction, former Perth Glory defender who played a little bit up front as well, a couple of NSL titles, and a real cult hero as well. So ball will be presented on the spot for Daniel Steins to get us underway. This second period here at Percy Doyle Reserve, Sorrento 0, Gwelup, Croatia 1. Tommy Dolman on the call for you in this second half. Live on the Football West YouTube channel and Facebook pages all around Australia and beyond. Thank you for joining us wherever you may be listening to us and viewing us this afternoon as Gwelup, Croatia win an early free kick, and it'll be Shubha Makala who stands over this and places it down. Plenty of Gwelup players in the penalty area waiting for its arrival. Flat ball in the end from Makala, headed away, and Graham Tuff will be first to the clearance. Ball up the line was a good one for Morgan, and now Praja's clipped ball over the top has running from Teese and Faishni. Teese got his head to it, but couldn't divert it towards goal. I think he was a little torn between wanting to flick that on towards the goal or onto Faishni, and in the end did neither. A little bit of confusion though in the back four of Gwelup though, as Campbell slips and kicks the ball straight to Jakob Praja, who hustles Mitchinson and John Steins for possession and wins a free kick. And now the goals will get an opportunity to sling one in for the first time this half. And all the familiar faces are getting in the penalty area. Graham Tuff, Jordan Brown, Alex Morgan, Cameron Teese, Daniel Faishni lurking at the back post. It's a deep one. Campbell's come to get gloves onto it and in the end affects it pretty well. Shouts for handball off Faishni, and Sorrento are appealing for something here. I'm not sure what. Seems to be a little bit of confusion at the moment, and the referee will come and confer with his linesman. For what it's worth, I'm no more knowledgeable on the situation than anybody else, but it looked from up here as if there was a slight touch off the Gwelup Croatia defender. And it will be a free kick after all of that, so a little bit of confusion from both the teams out there and from yours truly up in the commentary position this afternoon, but it has been settled that the goals will have a free kick. So once again, those bodies are sent into the penalty spot. Annis's ball is a dangerous one. The flick on from Govan was a good one to avert the danger for a moment, and Mitchinson should be able to effect a full clearance on that. Now Mikeche will look to bring McCarla into play as Gwelup get on the front foot, and the challenge from Annis was a little late on the midfielder as the counter-attack was halted, and Annis will join his teammate Jordan Brown in the book, along with Gwelup Croatia's Blair Govan. Govan over this set piece. 50 appearances for Hume City over the past few seasons. A season with the Oakley Cannons as well in 2019. 24 appearances and 2 goals with the Cannons in 2019. Teese. Lovely pass here for Praja, who'll get his head up and will look to try and pick out Faishni, but the ball was a little ahead of he and Alex Morgan. A few of the supporters from the hill have moved to this side of the pitch, with the sun setting just behind us. Foul from McCarla on Praja. You could hear the contact from up here. And once again, it's a set-piece opportunity for Sorrento to attack. A third of the half, and this time it'll be an in-swinger from Tim Hill. Disappointing ball in from Hill, easily cleared by Pitsata. Colley with a double header there to affect the clearance, and now Annis. Praja looks for the run of Teese. Pitsata went to ground and drew the free kick. Intelligent defending there from the central defender. Hill. Baishni. Annis. Colley. It's nice football down this left-hand side from the goals as Annis finds Colley again, cross to the back post, looking for Alex Morgan just over his head. Mitchinson got a boot to the ball. Tamata exchanges passes with Praja. Patient play from the home side here. Pass from Hill was not a great one, but it eventually found its way to Praja, who looked to dig out a pass there for Morgan. The goals retain possession. Annis will strike. And Campbell got gloves to it. I think he thought about catching it initially. In the end, it was tipped over well. And a fairly regulation save for the goalkeeper, but it will present Sorrento with a corner. They have started this second half well, the hosts. Annis's driven ball. A little short for his teammates. Cleared up by the skipper, Hill, who loads up again. Teese is looking dangerous and hung out a boot, which made contact with Campbell. And that'll just give the visitors time to settle in possession once more. leading by a goal to nil. Hazani Sinclair, scorer of it. Gwelup, Croatia looking for their first NPL WA win this afternoon. Another big moment for a team that's really been on the rise in the previous seasons, and it's opened up for them again here as Daniel Steins finds John Steins on the edge of the area, but the flag's up on this near side. Steins went a little early. Gwelup really working their way through divisions as discussed before. Plenty of league titles in the past few seasons. A Div 1 in 2019, a Div 2 in 2017, a couple of amateur Premier League titles in there as well. As Anis Pizzata slipped, ball will go in for Tees. Where will this land? It'll break to Fashni eventually. He wants it on the left-hand side, and it's just over the bar. Couldn't quite get his head over the ball. It was aimed towards that top corner in the end, and just over it went, so the intent's still there from Sorrento. And just to finish on what I was saying about Gwelup before, they've had just 7 league defeats since they were promoted to the state Division 2 in 2017, so a remarkable run over the past 3 seasons and a real climb that they've made. The Salinger's clearance will land on the roof just behind us. Throw in to be taken by Tristan Colley just beneath us. Player who came through the youth ranks at Bayswater City, Tristan Colley, and spent 2019 with Florida Athena, now getting an opportunity in a sky blue shirt. Really exciting, youthful looking left-hand side that Sorrento have with Ian Fashni, who we've seen in action already this afternoon, as Alex Morgan, one of the veterans of this team, mazies his way into the penalty area. Cross was looking for Tees, and in the end the last touch was off a sliding Salinger. In swinger to be taken by Praj. They've mixed up the set piece. Takers in this half. It's a dangerous looking ball in. It was Govan who got to the near post and made the clearance. Fashni will elect to keep possession as it goes back to Colley, who goes all the way back to Giudicati, who's acquitted himself pretty well this afternoon. How's that for a bring down from Tees? And now Morgan tries his luck from range, and once again that one's down the throat of Campbell, who didn't have to move too far to the left or his right. But needless to say, it's been all the home side in this second half so far. Needless to say, we need no reminding of Gwelup's attacking players on the counter, though, as John Steins whips that one in. Dumba Mikeche couldn't quite bring that one under control. Hargreaves looks for Sinclair out wide, finds him. Looks to play inboard for Daniel Steins, who nearly got the shot away. It was blocked by Jordan Brown, I think. Mikeche will look to feed on the loose ball. He gets there and keeps that one alive for Gwelup. Still holding that one up. Hill heads the cross away. Hargreaves. Pass was looking for Mitchinson. It was errand in the end, and that'll give Sorrento an opportunity to counter. Morgan's got a lot of work to do on his own, though, under pressure from Pizzata and Mitchinson, and in the end did well to win a throw-in for his team. looks as though Taki Nikolaidis will turn to the bench for the first time this afternoon, and it'll be Bobby Wilson who enters the fray, and he'll replace Declan Hargreaves, so that may mean a slight reshuffle for Gwelup here. Hargreaves was playing just in front of that back four, and Wilson, an experienced central defender. Wilson, one of Gwelup Croatia's longest serving players. Previous experience at NPL level with Stirling, Lions and Floreat Athena. Tamata, Praja, coming together with Daniel Steins, and then the foul on the follow-up was from Steins on Praja, so it'll be a goals free kick now. This restructuring from Gwelup at the back means Pitsata will move to the right side of the defence. Salinger will switch from right to left, and Sam Mitchinson will take Hargreaves' position just in front of the back four. Wilson and Govan in the centre of defence together. It's Wilson who wins that header. Faishni got the touch to put that one back towards the penalty area. Brown will try and get things back under control. He does with a header to Colley, and now Brown again looks up the line, cut out by Pitsata, whose ball is a good one into the feet of Mikeche. Wonderful turn from the attacker, and he's off to the races here. Mikeche giving chase is tough. It's Mikeche, saved by the boot of Giudicati. Crucial stop from the youngster as Mikeche bore down on goal. Has Gwelup come again through Daniel Steins, who'll won his left foot. Sliding in was Praja. Referee says he won the ball, and now Sorrento will try and counter-attack themselves. Teese. Gwelup have managed to get a few numbers back as Teese retreated backwards. He's on the ball once again and playing a lovely ball here for Tristan Colley, who'll just won't be able to run that one out of play. So after a spell of Sorrento dominance to start this second half, it was Gwelup who made their mark on the counter-attack as Dumba Mikeche turned on a sixpence on that halfway line and got away from Tough pretty easily. Moved into the area and shot across goal was saved by the boots of Giudicati. Meanwhile, we have had the first change of this afternoon to Sorrento. Bring that one to you shortly as Mitchinson clips forward looking for the run of John Steins. Giudicati will let that one run all the way through to him. The change is Zdenek Bezdek. Replacing his Czech counterpart in Jakub Praja. It looks as though Bezdek has just slotted into that central midfield role where Praja was. Now, here he is trying to get onto the end of that cross from Anis. That would have been a heck of an impact had he got there. And now the header is behind Brown and the pressure is on from Daniel Steins, but the defender recovered pretty well. Bezdek spent the second half of 2019 at Stirling after joining from Inglewood in the May transfer window. And just the one goal in 2019 for Bezdek, and it was actually against the goal, so he now plays for, funnily enough. So Jamie Harnwell won't have to worry about him scoring against them this season as Anis's ball in's a dangerous one. Campbell came with the punch again, got mitts on it, and out it goes for a corner. Bezdek also started out as a teenager at Banica Strava, one of the better known clubs in the Czech Republic who have played in the Europa League in recent years. Here's Anis's corner. Good ball in. I think that came off the head of Tees. He's still bouncing for him. In fact, he hooks one over his shoulder and goodness me, that would have been a stunning goal. It took a touch on the way through. And it'll present the goals with yet another set piece. So the corners are building up in this half for Sorrento. They'll be desperate to try and capitalise on one of these here as Anis's ball in's a good one again. Flicked on this time by Morgan. The header will be put straight up in the air and that'll be easy enough for Campbell to come and gather. A couple of times this afternoon we've seen that incredible close control from Tees, and so close on that occasion to hooking that one on target. Here he is again. Didn't quite get enough on the pass out wide for Fashni. Now Gwelup can try and counter again. No advantage there for Gwelup, and it looks as though Sorrento are going to be reduced to 10 men here. I thought the ref was going for a double card here. And he is. Anis will depart the field. Second yellow card for that challenge which halted Sinclair just beyond the halfway line. So Gwelup a goal and a man up as well now. And that'll leave Sorrento with an almighty task now against a Gwelup defence which have done pretty well this afternoon despite the barrage of set pieces they have had to endure, particularly at the start of this second half. Wilson will get us underway once more with this free kick. Asani Sinclair tried to flick on Mikeche. Couldn't keep the ball, and instead Fashni decides to put that one into touch. So Sorrento will be hoping that that doesn't take the momentum out of their enterprising start to the second half. Still trailing, of course, by a 1-0. Scored by Hazani Sinclair. Lovely 1-2 with Dumba Mikeche in that first half, and that's how it stayed. Taki Nikolidis is edging his charges towards that first NPL WA win. Salinger. Pass cut out by Bezdek. Hill. Tough. Composed play there from Graham Tough under the pressure of Dumba Mikeche, and unfortunately for him, his pass is just away from the running Fashni. Makala. Ball's clipped through for the run of Sinclair, who's onside here, and will keep that alive. Pitsasa now supporting behind him. Inside of him is Makala. Mitchinson in front of that back four now, of course. Salinger. Back to Mitchinson. Now Salinger will cross on the left foot. It's a deep one. Collie let that one run all the way through to Sinclair, who will try and take him on one-on-one, and the cross is deflected off the youngster and out for a Gwelup corner. So this is some much-needed relief for the visitors, who are probably quite happy to have the ball down at that end of the field, given the way the half has panned out to date. Taking this one will be Daniel Steins, an outswinger hooked over his shoulder by Mikeche, and goodness me, that would have been a spectacular way to add a second. Audacious, but such a talented player is Dumba Mikeche. You can see why he was so highly thought of by the Perth Glory all those years ago. A little more seasoned now after his travels, including a stint in the NPL in Victoria and overseas in Malaysia and Borneo. Very much looking the part in the 2020 edition of the NPL WA, as Tough retreats all the way back to Judah Caddy, whose clearance was hit with the instep, and out of play it goes for a Gwelup throw. So that second yellow card for Rannis has just taken the sting out of things here a little bit. But Gwelup Croatia, well and truly back in the ascendancy. Steins, Mitchinson fancied his chances for a moment, but the touch was a little heavy, and that allowed Bezdek to step in, and he'll retreat for Tamata, who should be able to clear that one. Sliding in Bezdek. Govan. Sun in his eyes. Makala did well enough to get the ball back to Salinger, and now Teese is a willing runner to put Campbell under the pump, and in the end the stopper has to punt that one into touch. Tamata, youngster who made mainly cameo appearances last season for the Goals, but has made that right back position his own, and he's back and defending on their right hand side now as Steins plays it out to Sinclair on the opposite flank. Back inside for Steins, who looks to deep the ball through from Mikeche, but Mikeche had to check his run as he intended to stay on side, and in the end that'll run harmlessly through to Judy Caddy. Second substitutes being prepared by both teams here. First of those changes is David Hegney. Scored in the game here last season, of course, at Percy Doyle Reserve. 2-1 win for Sorrento on that day in the round of 16 domestically. He'll just slot into that deep midfield position, and Sam Mitchinson will flip back to left back again, and a change for the Goals as well has happened. Looks as though young Jackson Tamata has made way. And on for him is Scott Witch on that right-hand side, a player with plenty of pace. Started his NPL days at Inglewood United. Very pacey player. And will hopefully help the goals get the ball up the field a little more. It looks as though they may have slotted into a back three here, Sorrento. A little hard to tell at the moment. We'll try and sort that out for you shortly. It's Pizzata hoists that one upfield. Last touch there was off Fashni. Yes, it was. Pizzata will take another throw in a little further the field than what he did a moment ago. Hegney, pass charge down by Bezdek. Hegney once of Huddersfield Town and St Johnstone in Scotland, but probably best known here in WA for his spell up front, that tremendous partnership with Gustavo Marilander in Bayswater's dominant NPL WA era in the start of the early 2010s. Teese into the area here. Cameron Teese will try and whip that one around Pizzata, but it's a little gentle, and Campbell's easily able to dive onto that one. So yeah, plenty of chances today. Cameron Teese just hasn't quite been able to put any of them either side of Campbell. One in particular that was saved by the boot in the first half that stood out in particular. The centre forward couldn't quite keep that one in play from Fashni's throw-in, so Shadows starting to gather a bit of momentum over the pitch here. Difficult for the players and the referee looking into the sun behind us. Morgan. Last touch off Fashni there, no foul. Throw in taken short for Hegney, who looks for the quick stretch to Steins. It's a good ball, and he's got brother Daniel running ahead of him. Daniel Steins will go for the cheeky chip, and over the goal it goes. Got a decent glimpse of it there, did Daniel Steins, but he was always running wide. And that more or less made up Judy Caddy's mind in terms of whether he was going to come and claim it or not. McCarla, Mitchinson, John Steins, Daniel Steins, Hegney, McCarla. Now Pizzata with space. Sinclair's outside of him. Will look to take on Fashni. Comes inside, goes back for Pizzata, who'll cross now. It'll run all the way through for John Steins, who will try and twist and turn in the area. Back instead for Mitchinson, and Gwelup quite happy to keep possession for the moment. Hegney looks up, looks to clip a ball in behind the defence. John Steins drives. Daniel Steins looks to dig it out of his feet. He will for Mikeche, and John Steins saved by Judy Caddy, who keeps Sorrento in the game. And once again, a theme of the afternoon. Both of these teams have had good chances, but they've been straight at the goalkeeper. But that was lovely interplay in the penalty area from Daniel and John Steins and Dumba Mikeche, who eventually put that on a plate for the former Floriat man. Now Hegney's ball. Releases Mikeche once more. Driving into the area. Dumba Mikeche! It's Mikeche magic for Gwelup. Goals in consecutive NPL WA games for the striker. And that should give Gwelup a landmark. First NPL WA win. Sorrento 0, Gwelup Croatia 2. So Gwelup double their lead here at Percy's Oil Reserve. Makache loose on that left-hand side, and he drove into the area with pace and poked that one past the helpless Judicaty, who's been so admirable in goal this afternoon for the goals, the youngster. And Gwelup will now unload their bench with a third and final change of the afternoon. It'll be Sean McManus who'll come on for his debut with Gwelup Croatia. Midfield player who can slot in out wide, as we're seeing at the moment. Started the season at Stirling last season, then joined Bayswater to finish the year. 17 appearances and a goal across both of those teams. Sorrento looked to try and respond here. Alex Morgan got the flick on, driven towards goal. And then Hill with a volley. Oh, it was nearly a spectacular strike from Hill. The initial drive was from Witch, and the midfielder did his best to try and volley that one over the head of Campbell, who wasn't sure whether that was dipping under the bar or not in the end. Luckily for him, he was grateful to see it over. Not without a flapping hand, though. Hegney, Brown, Witch, Alex Morgan. Scott Witch continued his run. He may well get on the end of this yet. He's pressuring Govan, and in the end the surety of Govan made sure that no danger was going to occur. Hoisted in by Witch. McManus. Clearance by Pitsata. That'll run all the way through to Judicaty here. Makache won't give up the chase just yet, though, and passing across goal was the youngster. Tough. Pass forward was intercepted by Hegney, and now hooking that one around the corner was Daniel Steins. Makache was offside in any case. Pressure on Tristan Colley as Gwelup continue to press high. They really have capitalised since the home side have gone down to 10 men, as Campbell has to fly himself off his line and deal with that one. Communication between he and Wilson at the back, good enough on that occasion. As T-spawn down. Hegney heads away. John Steins. Clearance by Graham Tough, who won't have any joy against his former side today, it seems. Makache won the header. It went straight up in the air. Tough will follow up that challenge with Makache by winning the second header, and now Alex Morgan's dropped a little bit deeper here, trying to get into the game. Teese left that one under his boot, which nearly managed to spin that around the corner of Mitchinson. Bezdek emerges with possession. Colley. Pass was a little wide of Dashny, and seems as though the goals are starting to run out of time a little here now. Brown clears up the line. Didn't stay in play for Witch. Sorrento substitute. Sorrento will need a goal pretty soon if they are to make a late comeback in this game. They will win a throw-in, though, and it is quickly taken for Witch, who puts a pretty good cross in. Morgan got his head to it and couldn't keep it down. And it was just slightly always above. Alex Morgan, a difficult one to try and stretch the neck for and put on target. Yeah, you just wonder whether the goals will be presented with any additional chances in this game. They've been pretty good this afternoon. They probably should have made the most of their set-piece opportunities at the start of the half when they really did gain some momentum, but the second yellow card of Volianis has really taken the sting out of the game, and now Gwelup will drive forward with a view of wanting a third goal. Michenson's on the overlap and he's in the area, and Judah Caddy, I think that was going into the top corner at the near post, and it was a good save from the stopper, who's been pretty important in this second period. He's had a pretty good afternoon overall, the stopper. Corner quickly taken to Steins, and now McManus puts into the area, cleared away by Graham Tough upfield. McCullough will let that one run for a throw-in. The seconds tick down for the visitors. Morgan not able to keep that one in play. Tace's flick on. Hegney emerges with the ball. Flipped out wide to Mitchinson. Ball forward to the feet of Mikeche, who's been excellent again today. Back-to-back goals in season 2020 for the striker. Looking to make his mark in his second spell at NPL WA level. McManus. Cleared by Tough. Only as far as Mitchinson. Hegney. Clipped over the top. McManus is onside. If he can bring this one under control, he can. Tempo definitely being taken out of the game by the visitors. Hegney will try and volley that cross towards the back post. It nearly turned out to be a beauty as John Steins looked to lurk at the back post, and in the end the bounce of the ball was too much for him to bring in. Wilson wins the header. Header forward by Brown. Hegney's ball with the outside of the boots. A very nice one from Mikeche, who's one-on-one with Tough. And into the area again, laying off for Daniel Steins. It'll run all the way through to Steins, who'll slice that one in with his right foot. 3 goals, 3 points for Gwelup, Croatia this afternoon. Daniel Steins off the mark in season 2020 for Gwelup, Croatia. A third goal for his team this afternoon. And that'll well and truly seal the 3 points now. And will really put the underline on an impressive afternoon's work. They did have to work hard to get these points this afternoon. Scoreline possibly doesn't quite reflect the way in which the game's panned out. It really did sort of take a hit when Annis received that second yellow card. Sorrento well and truly in the game up to that point, and they'll look to come forward now and possibly try and get a consolation, but Teese fouls Daniel Steins there. A little bit of frustration, perhaps. It looks as though the goals will be one win and one defeat from their 2 games this season, and Gwelup will be undefeated after their 2 games. A win and a draw. Faishni's tickle around the corner. Cleared upfield by Wilson. McKeche backs into Tough. Hill has the ball at ground level. Colley punts that one forward. Headed away by Govan. Hegney. And the flag was up on that far side. Morgan was on offside, when he played the ball. McManus, ball through here. McKeche slightly deceived by Tough, allowing that to run all the way through. As Giudicetti clears upfield. Not long left in this one now. Good day's work for the visitors indeed. A game against the Glory at home next week, as McKeche looks to pass through for McManus, but Brown's able to effect the clearance. The Glory at home, of course, who they did beat 5-0 in that opening weekend ghost game. So that's come around again. Steins, ball in the middle. McKeche tried to get a boot for it, and that's good defending from young Tristan Colley at the back post. Armadale away, and tough place to go, and then Florius at home after that. So round 5 looks like a real interesting game in prospect there. The goals, meanwhile, they've got a Northern Derby against ECU Joondalup up next week. A fierce Northern Suburbs rivalry there, but it's for a clash with Bayswater at home, and then a trip down to the Southern Suburbs and a game with Coburn. They've already gone down to Rockingham and won this season, of course, so that won't worry them too much as Daniel Steins tries to pick out brother John. Clearance is made by the retreating Sorrento defence there. I think that was Witch who was sliding in. As Wilson and Govan go forward, as Gwelup go in pursuit of a possible 4th here. Might well be the last meaningful opportunity of the game. It's whipped in by Steins. Flick on was enforced by John Steins at the near post. Last touch off Brown. Secondary set piece. Daniel Steins played into the feet of McCarla. Ball across the area. Nearly fell to Govan, and McKeche couldn't quite get an outstretched boot to it. It was a great challenge, in fact, by Tim Hill, I think it was in there. In fact, it was Tough who got the last touch. Corner quickly taken. McManus' drive, is deflected into the path of Wilson. Pitsatter, McManus. Sting out of the game. Wilson's cross. McKeche can't bring it down. Last touch off him. And Witch will have to throw one backwards to Tim Hill. Bezdek. Witch. Hill. Teese, Hill. And now Faishni. Trying to get the better of Pitsatter, who stands tall and outsmarts the youngster there. As the referee takes a look at his watch and blows for full time on this afternoon's proceedings. Gwelup, Croatia record a landmark win, a first ever NPL WA triumph by 3-0 away at Percy-Doyle Reserve against Sorrento FC. That form against grand final runners-up Inglewood United is well and truly franked based on this performance today. Early goal came from Hassani Sinclair, and then goals in the second half added by Dumba Mikeche and Daniel Steins after Oli Annis received a second yellow card, which all but put pace to Sorrento's chances. They did have a really good spell at the start of the second half in particular. Plenty of set pieces, Teese hooking over the bar and Tim Hill volleying over the bar as well. Good saves from Connor Campbell also, particularly in that first half from Teese and Annis. But Taki Nikolaidis and Gwelup, Croatia, we're very happy with their afternoon's work. As discussed before, a first NPL WA win and a first 3 points at this level. Thanks for joining us this afternoon on the Football West YouTube channel and Facebook pages. Watch out for Gwelup, Croatia in season 2020. They've won by 3-0 this afternoon. My name's Tommy Dolman, and we'll see you at a game soon. Good night.